Welcome back to another video, guys. Thank you guys for joining me today. On this, I haven't used this camera in a minute, and I look very dark. But anyways, I'm busting it out today because I got a banger of a video to shoot today, and I'm kind of hyped. A lot of stuff went in behind the scenes to make this stuff happen, so I'm excited to share that with y'all today. This is probably gonna be like a 3-4 part way video, depending on how I feel about editing and stuff. But I got something big for the bug, like I mentioned to you guys. I've been very low-key about this. I haven't even been telling, to be honest, anybody. The homies from Tuntunas know. That's about it. My brother knows. That's really realistically what it is, because I kept this kind of a secret. So hope you guys like it. First and foremost, I want to thank UM for letting me work out of their shop. Shout out to my boy Miguel. I'm gonna link their stuff down in the description. You guys can check them out for all your wrap decal needs, installations, bags, lo que quieran. Aquí se lo damos todo. Ándale. Shout out to my boys in the shop. But anyways, I'm gonna dive straight into this. I don't want to keep you guys waiting forever, so I am gonna bag this car. And I kind of want to talk about why I chose the parts that I chose, and how this came out a lot cheaper than literally any other place you want to bag your car. Because if you want to bag your bug, it's literally going to cost you like racks. Because I was looking at the front one, the cheapest front kit I could find is like 1,500, and then the rear is it's obviously more because it's a unibody. So I'm gonna show you guys kind of what I have. You guys obviously right away see the struts, these that have the pick and pull markings on them, because my dad actually bought these for me. Like, I'd say, like, I've had these for a while, to be honest. I probably had these for like, sheesh, I don't even know, man, probably like 3-4 years, because I've had the car for like 6. My dad had these for a while. These are the rear ones, exactly the same as the front, but obviously designed to fit in the rear with the obviously the right kind of design. They're bags, they're air struts, and a lot of people don't think they're bags. Honestly, to me, it's kind of the same thing. I don't see any difference. This is the only used part I had. Everything else on this kit was new, so these used were like 30 bucks. If you guys got them brand new, they'd be 60 bucks. So these were what that's gonna cost you. And then I have the front ones right here. Also, I'm gonna link every single part I used, and including where you can get the rear struts brand new. I'm gonna link all that in the description so that you guys know and can buy this stuff with ease. I've actually had these for a while, but I didn't have anywhere to put them. These are obviously the lines, plugs, connectors, hangers and stuff, all that good stuff. This right here is the top mount bushings and stuff and whatnot. And then right here we have the actual bags, the air struts. I mean, my bad. This is it right here. This is basically all it is. This is the nozzle right here where you put air in and out. Pretty simple stuff. This is the actual bag right here. Now, obviously, if you guys have like any other car, to be honest, they obviously look a little bit different because the bag is obviously designed different. That's why these are air struts. But it's all the same to me. That's all it comes with. Lines for both sides, bushings, lines. That's for the front bags. For the rear bags, I'm obviously gonna have to piece some of this stuff together, get it at Home Depot or something, because obviously I didn't get any of that stuff, literally just the nozzle. But if I can use some of that, because this is meant for like a truck, I'm gonna use some of the lines if I can for the rear. There's the next box right here, ladies and gentlemen, and I don't know how to open it. Beyond me, man. I really don't know how to open this. Okay. So this is kind of the only thing you need to get realistically to modify the car. These are just some Empi through rods. So I'm gonna try to explain as best I can. Basically, you're gonna get this. This is like 60 bucks, I believe. You're gonna get these through rods so that you don't have to get an adjustable or narrowed front beam. You could just use the stock beam that you have on your Volkswagen Bug. This is what you're gonna need to use though. If not, the car's not gonna be able to get lowered. It's just the rod, and then the rod bushings to hold them on the end, and that's it, man. That's all you really need. You got the fun stuff right here, Airlift. You go see, Airlift. They make great quality parts. That car's bagged on Airlift. Most of my homies' cars is bagged on Airlift, so it only made sense, right? And I got a bunch of other stuff in here that doesn't come with this Airlift kit, but that I'm gonna use. Alright, so first up we got the 1/8 NPT Fittings. I'm gonna explain everything once I take it out of the box. I have a 1/8 pneumatic toggle switch, and I will explain why in a second as to why I have that as well. I have right here, what are these? And 1/4 NPT Tire Valves. Just so you guys know, I'm telling you guys everything I have. Everything's in the description, like I said. And then I got some more right here. These are the 1/4 NPT Fittings. Like I said, everything's gonna be in the link down in the description. This stuff is like all for the actual Airlift kit. So these is just like the wiring and stuff. This is the controller, the valve, because it's a manual one. So it's actual analog stuff. More lines, relays and stuff. The actual line that you're gonna need right here. That's what comes with it. And then we got some zip ties and stuff, instructions in the box that we're obviously not gonna use. And this is the actual box that I just threw on the ground. This is it right here. This is all you need, man. This is your compressor right here. And this honestly weighs less than 5 pounds. This weighs like 2 pounds, to be honest. It doesn't weigh anything. Freaking small, man. But anyways, this is it. This is your compressor. It's got some screws in there for you. I'm gonna use those. That's it, man. I don't have a tank because obviously you're just gonna fill up the bags, and that's it. I don't need storage or anything because it's not exactly run on too much PSI, and the car is not really heavy, so that's why we can get away with running this. I've seen a lot of people run this. You can go the extra route and get all that extra stuff, but for me it wasn't necessary because all I realistically want is just for it to sit on the ground, you know, so I have more money to build the race car, right? You feel me? But it's still gonna look good, man. We're still getting all the proper stuff. You see all this? We're still getting all the proper stuff to do this the right way, man. Now I'm gonna break this video down pretty simple for you guys, but I just wanted to make sure you guys have everything you guys need before we even get started. So all of this other stuff may not make sense, and that's fine because right now that's not our primary concern. Our primary concern is trying to figure out how we're gonna put the bags in the front without trimming, and then how we're gonna do the rest of it. And the rods, the through rods is probably gonna work. We're gonna do first because we have to actually take the car apart. Everything else is pretty much easy in the sense of we can just bolt it on and off, but that's what's probably gonna take the longest. So that's the first thing we're gonna do. So the first thing we gotta do is jack up the front, and we'll go from there, man. So right now I'm gonna show you guys how to do the front. My goal is to get these Empi through rods in there. Extra points for myself if we can get the front bags on there today, because I know we have to modify a little bit of this like bottom joint bushing thing, but when we'll get there when the time comes. So right now we could just do the rest of that. I want to show you guys what the car looks like first before we even like start taking it apart, so we remember the ride height. You know, this is the ride height right here. Take a quick pic of that too. It honestly doesn't even look that high. It looks pretty low right now, but that's not good enough for me. Because I don't know, I can work on the car without having to jack it up, so that's unacceptable. So this thing needs to be laying frames. So I'm gonna show you kind of real quickly what you need to take off. This top bolt right here is a 14. Mine had 2 stacked on top of it. I think it's just to keep it from backing out. 2 14s. You want to grab the strut while you take off your 14. Watch, I got you. Hold it from right here with one hand and then take it off with the other. And then right here at the bottom, you guys can't really see it, but it's legit the bottom of the shock. It's just a stud on there. You take off this, I think it's a 17 millimeter nut, and then you push it out from the bottom. Watch, I got you. And it comes out, and there's your strut, your OEM strut, man. All right, but you guys see these right here? There's some nuts right here. Let me see if I can point to them. Right there, there's a nut. And on the bottom of that one, there's a nut. They're both 19s. They have an Allen screw on them in case you can't take them off and they're stuck. We need to take off these trailing arms, both of them, because we need to get to the spring plates that are inside, because we need to pull those out so we can put the Empi through rod. We need to put it in through here, so we need to take off the other stock ones. So we need to take all these off. I already broke all these loose. Alright, so I pretty much got it all off on both sides. Those two nuts are taken off, and the Allen key's been backed out. No strut on that side. This other side, same thing. Strut, the strut's out. These are pulled out, the 19s, and then the Allen keys are pulled out as well. And then the only last thing we need to do is this Allen or bolt right here, where the Allen key's at, right here. You guys can see that. There's another one up there too, right there. That's the last one I need to get to. Just need to put an extension on my socket and that's it. But all these other ones are out. Because we don't need to take both sides off. I only need to take off one side so that I can take these plates out and put the through rod in here. So I'm gonna take all this side. Use a pry bar, use a freaking breaker bar, whatever you got. Just freaking take this thing off, man. So basically I had to take it off the actual drop spindle to pull it out. It was just becoming too much of a pain in the butt. So you pull it out. There it is. Just put this to the side. Don't get any dirt on there. We're gonna pull all this stuff out as well. Alright, so the hardest part was trying to figure out how to pull these the spring plates out. You're gonna need to take these off. And at first, these are they're stacked on this one, and on this one there's just a few left. You guys can see that as well. What's going on with the camera? There we go. There's a few left there. You guys can see that. I pulled some of out individually. They're in there, but that made 0 sense. So my boy Nismo over there. Sorry, my boy Nismo. We figured out that it was stuck on the other side. So on the other side, I still have this arms on. I have the arms on there, but if you notice on this one, I took off the cap because the through rod has to go through there. And if you guys notice, like the shape of it on the inside is kind of what holds the spring plate in there. So what I did to get those out, because they're on there, bro, they're on there, and I thought all the adjusters had to be off for them to come out, but no. I basically hit the spring plate this way to knock both caps out. And then from this side, I was able to use an extension, a half-inch extension, and then a 12-inch millimeter socket, and apparently a hammer to basically push the rods out that way. Because I don't want to take these arms because it's a little bit more complicated than I want to get into. But basically, that's what I did. Over here, same thing. Took off the sway bar as well. You guys saw that. It's basically just a few tabs that you have to lift up this edge right here. You gotta lift up this edge and just literally smack it out. Everything out here is like with excessive force, to be honest. But basically when you do that and you smack it this way, then you should be able to just pull it out. And that's it right there, the spring plate. I'd say there's about like, I don't even know, to be honest, probably like 6 of them in there. I was trying to pull them out one by one, but obviously I was gonna be here all day doing that. So luckily we figured that out. Come out, yeah, come out, yeah. Yes sir, yes sir. Oh, they're stuck. Ah, gosh darn it. Kinda wanna put on a glove now. Let me go do that. Alright, let me see if I did this right. This should just, come on, man. There we go. I need some persuasion. And then we take these out, heavily rusted, as expected. Woo! Yay! Hey, give it away. Lo hicimos. I heard you're stressing out, heavy breathing. Huh? This guy, dude. I think as you hear that, a little bit of whining and some close talk, you turn around. Yeah. Go outside, baby. Yeah. That's how you know they're getting down. Challenge accepted. Alright, now that you got your sucky stock stuff out, you're gonna put this bad boy back in. I put a little bit more grease because mine was a little bit dry, so let me shove her back in there, bud. Remember your bushings that go right there. Slide that sucker in there. Better than that, hopefully, you know. There we go. Just stock arm back in there as well, the top one. You can put all this stuff back because you're gonna need to anyways. we go. This one's gonna go in there too. I'm gonna put all this back together, and then we're gonna what I mean by put back together is I'm gonna put all the bolts back in there, like so. And then after that, we'll dive into putting the through rods through. But for right now, everything can go back together, since the through rods are gonna go through the outside and we no longer need these caps. So on both sides, we gotta take off the caps. Now that you got your all done up, this goes through right here, watch. This is why we took off the caps. You see that? It just goes in there very smoothly. And like that, that's it. That's all you need to do. The reason these are round opposed to the other ones that are flat, or I guess squared since they're stacked, is because when the car goes up and down, it's just gonna pivot on this one, like it's just gonna do this. Even when all of these fittings are tightened down, it's just gonna serve to keep this in there like that, like so. You see that? It's just gonna pivot. So when it's bagged, it's just gonna pivot, and it's gonna allow these trailing arms to go up. Whereas if you got like the square ones, they perfectly fit in a certain way to keep like this in a certain angle, so that let's say if I can't push it down or push it up. So like let's say if you have an off-road bug, it's cool, but the bags are gonna keep the car up, so we don't really need the tension from these arms to be holding it up. You feel me? Does that make sense? So we got one for the top and one for the bottom, so that's pretty much all there is to it. And then when you get that on there, it comes with your little baggie right here. And these are like I believe they're like bolt washer things. They're threaded washers, and they have an Allen key on them to make sure they don't come out. Basically, all this rod is doing is keeping the trailing arms on the car, because if we didn't have this bar, the trailing arms would just work their way. Like they would just literally come out because there's nothing holding it in. Before, it was like the tension plates that were holding it in, but with this one and these fancy washers, that's what's gonna keep the trailing arms on the car. So that's all there is to it. I'm gonna grease these up and then put them back in, but this is basically what it is, and you just throw them back in there. I throw a little bit of grease on there since it's gonna be moving around. I don't want metal on metal, so it might not even need grease, but nothing else is holding it onto it, so I don't want it to be metal on metal, so I'd rather just put grease. When it hits the other side, don't push it out, because you're gonna push the other trailing arm out, and just wiggle it around and they'll slide into place. It's interesting how they work. I've never really seen them like this. If you guys can see that. Oh, you guys see that? Oh, you guys are seeing it now. Oh, crazy. You guys see it? It's like threaded, but it's a washer, so the inside is threaded and then the outside has an Allen key to tighten it down. It's very interesting. Now that these are done, we're gonna go to this side, do the same thing, and then tighten down the Allen keys. Oh, the washer thing sits perfectly inside where like the cap used to be. So right here, the washer, once you put it in, it's gonna tighten it down. It's gonna sit perfectly in there, so it shouldn't just come out. Yo, it's your boy coming at you from the future. So I'm editing this video right now, and I kind of just wanted to talk and give you guys a heads up. So right after I installed and got all this dialed in, I got some 1/2 20 nylon locking nuts. And the reason I got them is just because I didn't want anything to back out from these washers that they give you. So I got those, and I got some washers just to put between the lock washers and the nylon lock nuts. So just make sure you guys get those. I'd rather just pay the extra money, extra $5 for my safety. I hope you guys do the same as well. Cheers. Let's carry on with the video. And with that, I'm happy. I'm gonna go tighten down the other side, show you guys the finished result. There's a few reasons why I did this instead, so that I only spent 60 bucks to be able to adjust the front. Whereas if you wanted to do this any other way, you would either have to cut the center part out, put an adjuster, or get a whole different front beam, and that's already more than just the bags. The whole kit I paid for was like $320. It was like $297. But if you buy everything brand new, since I didn't buy the rear struts new, if you buy those new, the whole kit is like $320. So the whole bag setup is like less than $350, man, with tax shipped to your door. Alright, so I finished up the through bolts. They're doing fine. Put the sway bar back up and everything. It's just these little tabs, man. I honestly just hammer them in there. Put some pliers, hold one end together, and then I hammered it in there from the top. That's literally it. Just use excessive force. Let's imagine your bag and you're trying to air out, and you have the stock spring plates in there. It's not gonna do anything. It's gonna be hard as heck to move. You know, it's literally not gonna do anything. It'll probably lower it like ½ an inch, but you're not gonna pay all this money to lower your car ½ an inch, right? So what you do is you install these so that when you air out, look, it goes all the way up now, and it could go up higher, just not that strong. It's barely day 2, and I can already tell it's gonna be a lot of work to do, especially for the wiring and whatnot. The rears I'm optimistic about, but you guys are gonna have to wait for that video to come out for the rears. The rears should go a lot easier because it's a lot less parts we have to replace, but more or less stuff we have to move. So I'm not gonna talk about too much on it because I'm gonna do a whole separate video on that, so be on the lookout for that. Subscribe so you guys don't miss out on that video as well. Got a lot of dope stuff coming. Once we're done with the bug, got a few OEM stuff I want to replace on the bug as well, but I don't want to give away too much plans right now, because in the next couple of videos I'm going to give you guys a little bit more info. But today was kind of more or less just to show you guys what you guys need, get you guys situated in the front, and yeah, just kind of give you guys an idea of what you're up against, man. You guys don't have to do front and rear bags. If you guys want, you could do front or just rear. It's completely up to you. It's whatever you guys want to run. I want to do it the extra work, so if you guys have any questions, make sure to comment them down below. I'm gonna answer all questions, all DMs, shoot them my way, and I'll be happy to help, man. If you guys have any recommendations for the bug, what videos you guys want to see once I'm bagged, make sure to comment down below. You guys, if this video was a helpful, informational, beneficial in some way, shape, or form to you guys, please shoot a fat thumbs up. It helps out more than you guys could ever know. I love each and every one of you guys that always stops by for another video, guys. I know you guys were missing that bug content, so I had to come back with a banger. I hope you guys are excited, man. If you guys are, make sure to comment it down below. I hope you guys have an amazing, blessed day, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.